Welcome to the Jerusalem Panoramic Audio Tour. This tour will bring you the flavor of Jerusalem's beauty, leading us to the breathtaking views to be enjoyed from lookout points around the city. All you have to do is look at the map, get to the lookout point, and turn on the audio system. You can tour according to the order of these points, or tailor the trip to your needs by reaching select spots, suiting the tour to your schedule. You can listen to the tour in the disc player of the car. Another option is to listen outdoors with a portable CD, an MP3 player, or a boombox. The entire route can be completed in one day, or it can be spread over several days, if you choose to spend time visiting other interesting sites near the lookout points. Have a nice tour. Mount of Olives. The view from the Mount of Olives allows us to experience the visual impact of Jerusalem. The city in all its glory is spread in front of us, a breathtaking panorama that integrates different cultures and holds one of the treasures of human history within it. Here, at a height of 829 meters above sea level, we're able to feel the merging of prominent Jewish, Christian, and Islamic sites, which together create the mosaic so unique to Jerusalem. Mount Scopus, the desert vista. This is the point where, in effect, the Judean desert begins, descending gradually to the Jordan Valley and the Dead Sea. The arid expanses reflected from here provide another view across the multifaceted landscapes of Jerusalem. This defines Jerusalem, between the grain fields and the desert, between the land that lies settled to the west and the desert that lies behind it. Mount Scopus, the urban vista. Mount Scopus is one of the highest summits overlooking Jerusalem. Many armies observed and planned their conquest of Jerusalem from here. This point allows us to get a sense of the topography of the Old City. The Old City walls, the prominent domes of the mosques, the church towers, and the small domes of the private homes, and the new city that stands out in particular with its skyscrapers. The valley with groves of olive trees at the foot of Mount Scopus is Nahal Kidron, which defined the eastern end of the city in ancient times. The Absalom Lookout Point. Here at the Absalom Lookout Point, we can get a feel for the ancient landscape of Jerusalem. The Mount of Olives rises in front of us, covered with thousands of gravestones from the Jewish cemetery. The walls of the Old City are behind us, and the Kidron Valley, with magnificent ancient graves, is in our range of view. From this point, we can also see several important churches on the Mount of Olives, including the Russian church with the golden onion-shaped domes, and the Gethsemane church on the bottom of the slope with its magnificent mosaic-adorned facade. Mount Zion. From this point, we can enjoy a beautiful view of western Jerusalem, and especially of the red rooftop neighborhood on the other side of the valley. This is Yumin Moshe, the first neighborhood established outside of the Old City walls. And if we turn towards the Old City walls, we can enjoy its special appearance as it extends from Mount Zion to the end of Jaffa Gate. You can see the teeth-like indentations where guards were stationed. The minaret at the end is part of the citadel, the Tower of David compound. The Cinematheque Bridge. On the bridge itself, we enjoy a panorama of 360 degrees that bonds the Old City with New Jerusalem. We'll begin looking over the walls of the Old City. To the right of the walls, we notice the protruding buildings on Mount Zion, such as the clock tower of the Dormition Abbey. The building with arches and windows was the St. John's Hospital for Eye Diseases. The Menachem Begin Heritage Center is located next to the parking lot, and the Scottish Church is above it. Take a look below and you see the shingled roof of the Cinematheque building. The Valley of Hinnom extends further below, an area associated with the site during the Second Temple period, where nations would stand trial and the evil would meet their punishment. Hence the Hebrew name Gehinnom, hell. We will complete the lookout with a view of the ancient houses to the left of the valley and the long building of Mishkanot Sha'ananim. On the upper facade, teeth-like indentations were made a part of the architecture, recalling the look of the Old City walls. The Haas Promenade. The landscape from this point is phenomenal. An all-encompassing view of Jerusalem. In one sweep, it surrounds Western Jerusalem with its modern architecture, the Old City with its surrounding wall, Eastern Jerusalem with its rural-style architecture. If we focus our view on the Old City, we see the golden Dome of the Rock, clearly at the center of the Temple Mount, or Mount Moriah. Tradition claims that Abraham first saw it from this hill here when he approached it to sacrifice his son Isaac. The Goldman Promenade. The eastern lookout spot from the Goldman Promenade illustrates the gradual integration between the neighborhoods of eastern Jerusalem and the villages surrounding it, with the arid Judean desert behind them. On clear days you can distinguish the Moab mountains of Jordan, and even see their reflection in the Dead Sea. The Yair Lookout Point. This unique place is the southernmost point on our tour. The lookout point that encircles the tree reveals a unique view of the modern city, including the Teddy Soccer Stadium, the Jerusalem Mall, and new neighborhoods like Malcha, Givat Masua, and Moshav Ora, which extend along the ridge. The lookout point combines many elements: environmental sculpture, an archaeological park, and a battlefield site from the War of Independence. The Olives Pillar. The olive trees are elevated from the ground, but get water and fertilizer from a special irrigation system. The olive, which is a tree that can live hundreds and even thousands of years, symbolizes the eternity of Jerusalem and the city's ability to survive under any conditions. You can enjoy the special view to the east by reaching the end of the path that leads away from the sculpture in the direction of the desert. There you will enjoy the vista over the biblical landscape of the villages scattered throughout the area, the Judean desert, and the new Jerusalem neighborhood of Har Homa. From the lookout point, we can also distinguish the city of Bethlehem, birthplace of Jesus. The Knesset, Israel's parliament. The main government institutions of Israel were established on the hill in front of us. We see the Knesset building, where Israel's parliament sits since 1966. The building to the right of the Knesset, with the glass pyramid sparkling above the roof, is the Supreme Court building. The location of these two institutions, one beside the other, symbolizes the balance that has to be maintained between the branches of government. The Rose Garden, located between the Knesset and the Supreme Court, is one of the most beautiful parks in the city. We highly recommend visiting this area any time of year, and especially at the end of spring when the roses are in full blossom. Look out over Ein Kerem. Ein Kerem is yet another one of the charming and romantic sights of Jerusalem. The unique landscape integrates churches, gardens, ancient stone houses, and picturesque alleyways. According to tradition, it is the birthplace of St. John the Baptist. At the end of the forest road, you get to Mount Herzl, where you can visit the Yad Vashem Holocaust Memorial, the National Cemetery where Herzl and the nation's leaders are buried, and the Herzl Museum. Givat Masua. The valley that winds between the mountains is Nahal Rifaim, one of the last open areas near Jerusalem intended for preservation. The railroad to Jerusalem passes through the riverbed. This railroad line, opened by the Turks in 1892, was the first iron track in the Middle East. It connected the port of Jaffa with Jerusalem, providing a response to the growing influx of pilgrims who arrived in the Holy Land in the 19th century. You can enjoy the striking landscape if you take a ride on the train. From this lookout point, you can walk along the forest paths that lead down to the valley and take you to the springs scattered around the area. Here we conclude our audio tour. We began at the Mount of Olives, the easternmost part on our route, and we have finished at this lookout point, the westernmost point of our tour.